Hey there, Slot Car Racers. Today we have a new product to show you. It's a tire truer that comes from CG Slot Cars, which is one of the American cottage industry manufacturers. You probably know them from making a range of Can-Am slot cars and a very nice little Maserati birdcage. Matt McDonough, who owns CG Slot Cars, has gone to a lot of effort to create for us a new tire truer, a lot of which is 3D printed and all of which has been designed by him. It's a good-looking machine that is probably going to become one of the go-to machines for many people. There are a couple of advantages. Like many of the others that have been on the market, it's one that will grind both wheels on an axle, so very useful for those of you at home, racing at home, that have cars with axles and pressed on wheels that you don't want to undo in order to get the tires trued. That said, what we'll do is go through the little bits and pieces of the whole machine, give you some idea of how to use it and how to set it up. It has a couple of really nice features that are not available on anything else that we'll cover as we go through. But looking at the machine in general, it has a very stable anodized aluminum base, and then all of the 3D printed parts are bolted onto that. It's made up in a number of different pieces that allow you to take things apart and allow you to adjust and calibrate the machine. So that said, let's get into it and see how it works. Okay, so here we go. This is the machine and this is how it comes out of the box. One of the very first things that you'll notice is that you have been provided with two O-rings, but in order to get the O-rings ready to go, you can probably leave one of them over there. The other one you will bring to the front and hook over that pulley there. So this is then ready to drive at the front, drive the axle assembly, which will go in here. One of the very nice features about this machine is the fact that the little saddles that carry the bushings on the axle can be placed in a number of different holes along the front of the machine in order to ensure that you get the right width on the axle so that you're supporting the axle as well as you possibly can. That is, unfortunately for this axle, just a little too wide, so we can maybe go in one on that side, and that will then allow us to use this. In fact, I'll probably do it the other way around. What you will have to do when you buy one of these machines is to actually calibrate this particular piece of the machine here, which is what will give you the correct alignment and make sure that both tires are being ground at to the same size immediately. The best way to do that is going to be to have a pair of tires that you put on the machine, grind it, measure them, check and make the adjustment. The way you make that adjustment is to loosen off this screw there, and then this piece pivots. Once you get it aligned correctly, you would then tighten that one up, and with an Allen key you can get in there and tighten that one up. The machine is provided, as I said, with the two O-rings, one spare, which is nice, out of the way. We don't need it right now. Then we have the little pulley that will go onto the axle, and an Allen key to tighten that pulley up onto the axle. Then we can decide where we're going to put that on the machine, probably this way around. Looks like it'll be better. No, that way around. And I want to maybe move this over. Do it that way. Be sure to push these in all the way so that they back up against that back piece of the machine. They're reasonably tight, but they do go in quite easily. Then you hook that around, bring this over, get your machine in there, and you are ready to go here. The sanding action is done with a plate. The standard system comes with a plate that has a 200 grit paper on the one side and a 400 grit paper on the other side. It fits and slides into this quite simply, which will then allow you to move this up and down, or if you prefer it, put it in this way around so that you can handle it with that hand. And then your adjustment of the tire size is done here, noticing that there is no stop, so one would have to maybe make a mark on the hand wheel to be sure, if you were trying to do tires individually, to be sure that you get it exactly where you want it on a second set of tires, or if you're doing multiple tires, to get the same setting. So that would be how that piece of it works. There are a number of new extra items that are available for the machine. You can get different plates with different grits of sandpaper on them, 100, 200, I think maybe up to 600. I'm not dead sure, but it's on our website. You'll see the actual numbers. And then there are some new additions coming to the machine. There is a piece that bolts in here that allows a double reduction for when you are running a really sticky rubber or some other form of tire that you want a very slow movement, a very slow RPM. There's a reduction system that drives with two bands. It drives the axle so that it rotates very slowly. Right now, this is not going to rotate particularly slowly because it's a 7,000 RPM motor with about a 1-to-1 ratio. So we're probably seeing about 7,000 RPM here, although I would not run it at 12 volts. I would probably only run it at 4 or 5. There is a reciprocator attachment available. I think it comes in from this side. There are threaded holes in the base to attach it, and there is a reciprocator which holds this and then automatically winds the sanding plate back and forward. That's another option, and most of that you can see on the CG Slot Cars Facebook page. So there it is. I think very, very well done, very well designed, extremely rigid. There's very, very little in the way of movement anywhere that's going to worry the grinding of the tires or get them round. Some extremely nice ideas in terms of the adjustment of the alignment and the adjustment of the width of the bushing carriers, both of which are very nice. The bushing carriers themselves, those little pieces are steel, so they probably could handle an axle like a front axle that has no bushings on it. They could probably handle something that runs directly on there just with a little bit of oil, and that should work extremely well. A very nice big hand wheel that's simple to operate. The two coil springs in the side here to lift this up as it goes. So in all, very nicely thought out, very nicely made. I think well worth the investment. If you don't have a tire truer and you're looking for one, this one should certainly be on your list for consideration. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope that has been informative and interesting.